with it? What you gonna do?
I'm swinging with it.
Pop that.
Go. Now let me see you go. I'm swinging with it.
Pop that.
Now let me see you go. I'm swinging with it.
Pop that.
Go. Now let me see you go. I'm swinging with it.
Pop that.
Now let me see you go. 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 What you do? What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it?
What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it?
We're online, ready to fire away. A digital breeze from cybernet seas. We may not make it out of the bay. Just unwind, it doesn't matter anyway. Try not to freeze or throw away the keys. The predator is now the prey. Things could be different. Things could be alright. Things could be innocent when dark becomes light. We're online, ready to fire away. Powered by a dream, connected to a screen. The rebels in 4K. When dark becomes light, we're online, ready to fire away. Powered by a dream, connected to a screen. The rebels in 4K.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in to Apollo Racing Club NASCAR Truck Series here on the Apollo Racing Club Twitch channel and over also on YouTube. My name is Adam, EV500. Joining me tonight, as always from across the pond, is going to be James Williamson. James, we're here at Legacy, Michigan tonight, and based on what we've seen here in practice, this should be an interesting one.
It certainly should be. The high banks of Michigan will certainly test our drivers today, and luckily we'll be able to see multiple lines running, so it should be an exciting race, Adam, with everyone trying to find the best line and trying to save those tyres, which has been a theme of the season so far.
Last week, we saw Austin Armstrong pick up his second win of the season, but Andrew Serwick currently leads in the points. And let's take a look at the point standings right now. Andrew Serwick on the top still with 249 points. Cody Barrett, though, second place with 216. And Austin Armstrong with that win puts himself up into the third spot with 205. Eric Oliva with 197. Craig Bray with 195. So a good battle between those two. Shady Ahmad in sixth place with 190. He's in that battle as well. Dominic Rossi, 184 points. He is here tonight. Do I see him? I do see him.
Yes.
So good performance from him tonight. Could see him moving up a few positions as well. And in eighth place, Gary Cully, 162 points, tied with Sam Carasala with 162 points. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Dylan Pitch with 145. So that is what the point standings look like right now. Let's take a look at practice times here. Andrew Serwick currently fastest here in practice with a 39.99, is a thousandth quicker than Craig Bray, who's on a 40 flat. So very close racing so far in practice time-wise, but we still have qualifying and everything to go through tonight. Newcomers tonight, we have Chris Taylor just started here with us today. So welcome to Chris Taylor, and we're excited to see you here. And next week will be a break week, James, and we'll be getting ready to go to Watkins Glen. So a lot of these drivers are going to have to get some practice time before heading to a road course.
Indeed, it'll be a completely different challenge that they face this season, so we'll see who can handle that the best when we get there. But in the meantime, we just have to wonder, will Andrew Serwick convert his practice time into a pole position and then maybe a race win? Is Austin Armstrong a winner last week? You might fancy his chances in closing the gap tonight. But 17 people taking the grid is going to be a frantic race, I feel.
It's 17 people. Again, that's the most we've seen, pretty much about the average we've seen all season. So, and I forgot to ask Eric how to say his last name. So we're just going to call him Eric Chang, the 308 of Eric Chang. So ones to watch out for tonight, James, I would say probably definitely Andrew Serwick, Cody Barrett for sure, maybe Brock Whiteman in the mix as well.
Oh, it's certainly those three you mentioned have been up there in all the races. I mean, Cody Barrett and Brock have generally come through the field in the races. Austin Armstrong's certainly a strong candidate today. Just anyone needs to try and keep Andrew Serwick's lead from expanding tonight. That's going to be the main thing for a lot of drivers. I know Austin still feels.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, I still feel Austin is upset they had to miss the Bristol dirt round, because I think that would be another win for him there, given how strong he is on dirt. But Jake Jackson now coming out of the pits as we get into our qualifying session. So Adam, I'll take it over to you.
Well, Jake Jackson will be the first qualifier here tonight on the 2-mile circuit of the Legacy Michigan International Speedway. Now, trucks have actually never driven at this configuration of this circuit. So this is going to be an interesting result here. Again, NASCAR Truck Series never actually came here as Jake Jackson, who has now come back after a couple of races absence as he was, I think he was moving. So good to welcome him back, and he's going to go into the wall right away, and that's going to end his quali. Let's head over to Shady Ahmad. Shady Ahmad just trying to figure out this track as well. The number 98. We see Dominic Rossi, Craig Bray, Eric Chang, Chris Taylor, Kendall Martin, Dylan Pitch, Sam Carasala also out there. Again, this is a 5-minute quali run. You get 2 laps. Fastest of those 2 laps is your time. So here we go. First hot lap here for Dominic Rossi here, or excuse me, for Shady Ahmad. The number 98 as Craig Bray puts up his time of a 40.93. Dylan Pitch goes quick time of a 40.38. Chris Taylor a 41.04. And let's head over to Whiteman. Brock Whiteman has now just started a lap, so he's actually crossed the line already with a 40.9, just a 100th off of Dylan Pitch. Brad Collier coming through turn 4 now. And he will cross the line. This is his first lap. Let's see where he goes. Shady Ahmad goes second quick, a 40.43. Should be expecting more here. Craig Bray goes even faster, a 40.52. Chris Taylor quicker as well. He goes to second place, a 40.38. Dominic Rossi, somebody who I think should have a chance to win a race at some point. He's looked really good in the last couple of weeks. Brock Whiteman goes quick time, a 40.29. And now Kendall Martin, even faster, a 40.15 for Kendall Martin as he goes quick time now. Let's head over to Colin Kinzer. Colin Kinzer, somebody who I think has just gotten somewhat used to this car, as now Shady Ahmad goes second quick with a 40.18. Let's see where Colin Kinzer comes out here as he's on the back stretch. Cody Barrett goes 10th quick. Dominic Rossi goes 4th quick. Gary Cully 8th quick. And we're just waiting on more drivers. Let's head over to Austin Armstrong in the number 3. I think he's just on a time. No, he goes second quick, a 40.16. Andrew Serwick going to put up a time now. Can he take the pole here? He goes across the line. Does he go quick? He might have been on an outlap that time. He was. Brad Collier goes to 5th with a 40.26. So Kendall Martin currently on the pole with a 40.15. And Jake Jackson goes to 4th quick with a 40.24. Back over to Andrew Serwick now. Again, he is somebody who is going to be awfully quick at a track like this. Again, you're pretty much flat out through the entirety of this lap. So here comes Andrew Serwick from Detroit, Michigan. He crosses the line. Does he go pole? He does not. He goes 7th quick, a 40.26.
But we have seen everyone pick up on the second lap, so it's not all over yet, Adam, as Austin Armstrong currently our leader, 40.15. So can Andrew Serwick match that? That's what we're looking for now. He's the last. There's only one other person to qualify.
He was 1,000th of a second between Kendall Martin and Austin Armstrong. Here comes.
See if Andrew can split him or if he can steal it. Takes the apron.
Serwick crosses the line. Where does he go? He does not improve. He sticks at a 40.26. So that is our that's our running order of qualifying, and that will end it. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look here at tonight's grid. So on the pole is going to be the number 3, Austin Armstrong. In second place, the number 26 of Kendall Martin. In third place, the number 98 of Shady Ahmad. And on the outside of the second row, the number 13 of Jake Jackson. And rounding out the top 5, the number 11 of Dominic Rossi.
And in sixth place, we're going to have Brad Collier in the 28. And in the next race, in seventh, Andrew Serwick in the 22, our current points leader. And next to him is Colin Kisner in the 46. In ninth place, we're going to have Brock Whiteman in the 41. And in 10th is Dylan Pitch in his 411 machine.
Outside of the top 10 tonight is going to be the number 25 of Gary Cully in that 11th spot. Chris Taylor in 12th in the number 51. In the 13th spot is going to be the 007 of Eric Oliva. In 14th, the number 709 of Craig Bray. And rounding out the top 15, the number 402 of Cody Barrett.
And next to Cody will be Eric
Chang.
We're going to call it Eric Chang in the 308. And in 17th and last start is Sam Carosello, who didn't actually get a lap in qualifying, as we've got on him now in the Marlboro machine. But
Well,
Austin Armstrong is going to be leading us away, Adam. So he'd be pretty happy with that. He's done his first job. He's put himself in a great position to win tonight and hopefully catch some of the gap that he's got between him and Andrew Serwick. So that's something to watch for as this race continues.
That is one thing to keep out look out for.
How many laps is it tonight, by the way?
I will show you in just a moment. Why is it not
That's fine.
showing laps?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There we go. 75 laps around this 2-mile circuit. Again, 2 tires only available for these drivers.
It's going to be key when you use them.
It is. Just like we've seen every week. Got to take 1 tire a little bit farther.
Yeah,
Well,
I can imagine a lot of people using the high line to alleviate the tyre wear concerns, but coming up to the green now.
And here we go. Pace car is off. Austin Armstrong looking for the green flag, waiting for the green flag to fly. And here we go. 75 laps around, and we have massive carnage.
Oh no! And Andrew Serwick's involved.
This is a massive, massive crash.
That's even what happened. That is Colin Kisner. Half the field must have been involved in that. Didn't even get it past the start finish line, Adam.
We did not, and we're still racing.
We're still. Wow. Austin Armstrong seems to have picked up some damage.
Cody Barrett involved.
Right. I'm surprised we're still racing.
I'm surprised too. Automatic yellows are turned on.
So I say Cody Barrett, Craig Bray, Eric Oliva. Is it Gary Collier?
We have some slow guys. We are going to call a caution here.
The yellow flag is out.
So we are going to call a caution. Allow these drivers to get reset here, because that was a massive crash, and to be quite honest, iRacing really should have thrown a caution there. So
Yeah, I would have thought what we did was what we did. I would have thought Abby would have thrown one, but wow, that was a hell of a start, Adam.
that was.
We don't even know where to start picking that one apart, but at least 7 cars, at least 7 trucks involved, getting various bits of damage. I assume everyone will pit, and I assume a lot of them will just take their first fast repairs and hope they can stay on the lead lap. But the action came early today.
Most, if not all, people involved in that crash are going to have to use a fast repair.
I would imagine so. Austin's pushing the 51 truck at the moment. I guess we'll see what everyone does, who pits, who doesn't, and then we can reset and try and go again. Let's see if we get a better start this time. But it looked like someone spun the tyres and went up into it was Dominic Rossi, and from there it was the old accordion effect. But it happened right in the race place, right near the front of the field, and it just absolutely annihilated the back half. I think Sam Carosello was probably one of the few to make it through from the back.
Yeah, Eric
And,
Chang was not involved. Sam Carasala.
Yep.
Looks like Dylan Pitch came. No, he's
Yep.
got some damage.
Yeah. I think Sam and Eric were the two not to get a piece of that from the back end of the field. Everyone else only got their money's worth. The moment Cody Barrett, Andrew Surwick, Eric Oliva, all in the pit. See if they actually take fast repairs or if they just take the repairs as normal.
Well,
I see it.
I'm going to take a look at that and see if we can maybe get an idea of what happened there. It just was mass chaos. It was absolute.
Yeah.
I'm going to even go farther back.
We need to go a bit further back because that was sort of towards the end of it. But you see, Cody Barrett took a hell of a whack there at the end. Andrew
It was
got into the back of the 11.
Dominic Rossi was kind of ground zero for that event. So
If you can go back, I'm pretty sure he got a tap from behind there.
yeah.
Which is, I think, the second week in a row Andrew and Dominic Rossi have had an incident.
Yep, Andrew Surwick just ran over Dominic Rossi.
Oh, and then took a massive whack from the 28. And
Yep.
that pushed the 41 off, and man, everyone was left scrambling after that.
So we are not going green this time yet. We're still getting everybody fixed up.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to fix up from that one. I think probably take a couple laps to reset the pack, and then we can go back to some more racing, Adam. Hopefully we get a bit further this time.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew Sherwick must have had the grip and just was ready to rock and roll there, but clearly Dominic Rossi was not ready for that.
I think Andrew was trying to probably get a jump. He's had a few good starts this year, so he's obviously very good at timing them, but obviously it didn't pay off today. His timing was a bit too good for the field. So at least Austin will be happy that I'm blaming Andrew.
I mean, you could make the mistake and blame him for the Long Beach crash in the IndyCar series last season. So
No, that was him.
That was him? Okay. I take your word for it.
I was in that race. I was in the race. I remember it. It was like, haha, I'm going to destroy everyone in turn one. And they did. And they twirled his mustache. These are all the things that happened, Adam. And speaking of the IndyCar series, I think we should probably tell the viewers that hopefully we'll have a new Thursday night broadcast coming up in the near future. Testing a few things out in the coming weeks.
Yep. Starting this Thursday.
It is this Thursday, yes.
Yep. We will be doing a mini series featuring the F3 car, the MX-5, and the LMP2 for the first 3 weeks, and then the second 3 weeks we'll have the Formula Ford, the TCR cars, so the Hyundai, both the Hyundai TCR cars, and the Audi and the Honda. And then the third week, we will have Radicals. So we're testing out some new series to see which one is going to be more fun for everybody and have some entertainment and all that. So keep a lookout for that in the future. Of course, to join, all you have to do is head on over to discord.gg/Apollo Racing Club to join us. Hit the iRacing roll. We'll get you all set up for Thursday nights, and you can join us. Of course, that's just a mini-series. That won't be an actual championship. Nobody's running for a championship in this series. So we will have just a normal, just racing, casual fun. So join us on Thursday nights. Practice at 8 o'clock Eastern. 9 o'clock Eastern is qualifying. We're running a different format for that as well. We're going to be running a sprint and feature format, just like you would see in most races, in other forms of racing like F2 and F3. So,
Hang on, we're not going green. Not going green.
So we're trying to get the order figured out here.
Yeah, it feels like we're just trying to put everyone back on the lead lap. So the 51 is still scored a lap down. So I guess he's getting another wave around, and then we should probably be going back to green in the next lap or so. I guess they decided just to put everyone back on the lead lap just to.
Well, it was kind of a mess.
It was a mess, but you know, it was sorted, and we can hopefully go racing soon with Austin Armstrong leading from Jake Jackson. So I think we'll probably have one more lap of caution, unless 51 gets round fast enough. But I think the lights are still on, so yeah, I'll probably have one more lap, and then hopefully we'll see the green flag. And hopefully it'll last more than 5 seconds this time.
Well, the first caution, lap 2, really lap 1.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with this also is it helps with the little tyre wear situation, because you basically had like 7 laps under caution now. So if you want to push that first set longer...
Now, why is Collier going around again? He's going to be a lap up on everybody. We're going to take a brief pause here to figure out what's going on. Please hold.
So what happened?
Anyway, back to green flag here as we now start going around. There was a mix-up and all the wave around, so Collier is in the pit lane to give everybody the lap back, because that's what ended up happening. We need it was a bad situation. So
someone's just tagged the wall out of turn 2 there. Not quite sure, it was a bit further back, but Austin Armstrong, technically the leader.
Yep. Austin Armstrong is the leader of this race once everybody goes by Collier. So we'll get this all figured out. And there we go. Collier should come out of the pits, hopefully not too far behind. But now we see a three-way battle here for second place. It's between Kendall Martin, Shady Ahmad, and Jake Jackson.
Sorry, also just noticed Craig Bracing should dropping back 20 seconds back at the moment, so if he's had a problem. But as you said, Shady Ahmad just been overtaken by the 13 of Jake Jackson.
Well, these two are battling hard here, side by side here. Able to get some green flag running now, hopefully.
So that way, it's kind of getting nicely spread out here. People are starting to find the groove, which obviously they didn't get a chance to do last time because we were under caution before we even really began. So this is technically the race start now. Giddy and Mad looking for the switchback on Jake Jackson. These two are battling hard already. Further back in the pack, we've got Sam Carousel leading the pack with Dominic Rossi, Andrew Serwick, and Gary Corley.
Yeah, Dominic Rossi in the rear there in the Sirius XM car.
Yep, and Andrew Serwick trying to make his way back through the field after his basically being the catalyst for the start incident. But he's kind of stuck at the moment. He's right the 46. I think he got a bit of the wall there. 46 Colin Kisner. There's Gary Corley now just got round Sam Carousel, and I assume Colin Kisner and Andrew will follow suit on the outside.
An outside line, very, very nice, especially on tire preservation, but it also can get you some good speed and momentum going. You see a lot of times drivers will go around the outside, especially in turns 1 and 2, to really pick up some momentum on qualifying laps. You see this in dirt as well when they do their qualifying, to just get some momentum, because you know the longer you go, the more speed you can rack up, even though it's farther distance. It helps you get those RPMs and that speed up. Battle up for the front here. We have Jake Jackson trying to claim this second spot away from Kendall Martin. Kendall Martin, 2 weeks in a row now, looking real strong here at Apollo Racing Club.
Yeah, it's certainly put in another good performance early on here. It's got a bit of a 4-car breakaway, the lead. And then Brock Whiteman's kind of in no man's land in 5th. But he's doing all right after, I think he was also caught up in that start incident.
No, he was not.
I apologize, Mr. Whiteman. You weren't yet. I'm just used to it. He's probably the unluckiest oval racer right now. He's always performs well and then gets destroyed by something.
Jake Jackson will take the second spot away from Kendall Martin now as we will begin lap 15, excuse me. And but look at the run that Kendall Martin's going to get here. He's going to get in that slipstream, and this is one of those races slipstream really does matter.
Oh, it's all about the slipstream. Adam, like you say, just got to try and keep up with the pack, and then try and use different lines available to try and make the passes. Like I said, the outside lane's very strong. You get a great momentum run down the back straight. You see Jake Jackson there making the most of it. He's cleared Kendall Martin now. But has he got anything for Austin Armstrong? That's the question.
That is going to be the question, because Austin, very strong on these types of tracks. He's very calm and very composed in these certain situations. Had an opportunity to actually watch him do a Martinsville race in a NASCAR A-Class race a couple nights ago, and he can be calm and collected in certain situations. He's very good, especially on like short tracks. He is very controlled. It's just he can't avoid incidents. But here comes Jake Jackson down the backstretch using that slipstream from Austin Armstrong. And can he get in front? He does. Austin Armstrong diving down the inside. Now, does he have something for Jake Jackson's speed right now? As Jake Jackson was 0.03 quicker than Jake Jackson that last lap by. Let's see here. Yep, and he was now 0.5 quicker than Austin Armstrong. So Jake Jackson finding a little bit of momentum here early as we are now on lap 17 of 75.
Yeah, Kendall Martin's being dragged past Austin Armstrong, so Austin could be in third now after being a good chunk away in first for a few laps ago.
Well, I just want to point out this battle here that's actually starting to catch this front group.
Yep, Brock Whiteman leading the charge in P4 with Colin Kisner, who's worked his way up into P5 now. Shady Ahmad seems to be dropping off a bit. He's in P6. He's dropping off the back of this. He was up in third or fourth before, and he's sort of been dragged back into this pack. Got Andrew Serwick there, looming in the background, trying to catch up to the back of this pack. So we'll see. We could have another 7 or 8 car battle for the lead to see Adam if these can get in line and work together to work towards that front pack.
So we're watching here. Shady Ahmad trying to just stick with this group here, trying to move himself up the field. Andrew Serwick, though, lurking in the background here. He's not too far off. He's about half a second away from the tail of Chiamon and Gary Coley.
Yeah, and he'll want to get on the back of these two and get past as quick as possible, and then hopefully trace down Brock Whiteman, who's catching onto the back of this front pack with Colin Kisner. Austin Armstrong and the 26th are starting to pull away a bit from Jake Jackson. So you have a 2-car breakaway for the lead, and then everyone else is trying to play catch up.
I think everybody's still reeling from what happened on the start here, and just, again, that was a little bit of craziness to begin this one. Generally, we've never really seen that this season. First lap, just absolute carnage. Here is now Jake Jackson falling into the clutches of Colin Kinzer now. Brock Whiteman really pressing the issue here.
That's certainly true. Brock Whiteman, like I said, he's been working his way up slowly through the field. In that P5 position at the moment, but he's probably got more positions in his eyes. He'll want that P1. He's been very close this year a few times, so maybe he can get the job done today. But at the moment, Adam, it's all about just setting up for that first pit stop and what you want to do, whether you want to take the tyres or when you want to take them longer. With 21 laps in, I assume pit stops will be happening soon. Though we did have quite a long yellow flag run at the start of the race, so that's going to extend things a little bit.
Brock Whiteman, Shady Ahmad. Let's head further back here as we see Cody Barrett, Sam Carasala. This is becoming a tougher race now for Cody Barrett after being involved in an accident here. You can kind of see he does still have some slight damage to that front bumper a little bit. Nope, that's just the livery. I thought it looked like damage to me, but nope.
Yeah, I can't imagine he didn't take a fast repair because he took a hell of a whack at the front end in that caution or in that incident at the start. So he's like I say, he's just seen a lot of this season. He has worked his way through the field. He's quite a patient and methodical driver in regards to that. So he's up in 10th. He's up in P10 now. We've got Dominic Rossi right in front of him, who's also not really made much headway after being involved in that incident at the start. So these two and Sam will want to try and get onto the back of this front 8 as it is now, battling for the lead, or in that position where they're there battle for the lead.
We have a multi-car battle for the lead now. Kendall Martin in front of Austin Armstrong here, as we'll go to a wider angle here as we see Colin Kinzer trying to get around Jake Jackson. He will finally get that job done. Do a slide job up the track, and there he goes. Jake Jackson not going to hang around for long because he wants to remain in third. He wants to be able to capitalize on this battle in front of him. It's now Austin Armstrong pushing himself up into the lead. We're going to see a bunch of guys back and forth. The leader change is going to happen.
Certainly is. So a lot of paddling going on. As like I said, Austin's back in the lead now, but Kendall Martin will probably want it back before too long. Colin Kisner, Jake Jackson snapping at the heels of these two. So it's all setting up for some interesting early racing here. And Austin Armstrong's pitting, so he's going to be the first one pitting. Oh, nearly lost it.
Nearly lost it. Yeah. With Jake Jackson, Gary Cully, Dominic Rossi into the pits. So 25 laps.
I mean, that's a sensible time to pit. I assume they're probably thinking 25 in the stints if they can do that. But Kendall Martin leading this pack, whether they'll pit now or not, we'll see. I can imagine you could actually get a green flag stop and not go a lap down here.
It's tight.
Lap length. If you're at the front, it'd be possible. So I think Austin Armstrong and all that might be able to get out in time.
Kendall Martin, Shady Ahmad, and Brock Whiteman also coming into the pit lane now with Sam Carousel as well. And he spins in the pit lane.
It's very easy to do, and oh man, he's having a bit of a nightmare there.
Yes, he is. Colin Kinzer will now inherit the lead.
See, the swappers when you only race lawnmowers. When you get a car with power, you start spinning. But Colin Kinzer, like I said, leading the way. Andrew Serwick in second, Cody Barrett in third, and Eric Lever in fourth. The only four who haven't pitted so far. But I can't imagine that's going to be happening for much longer as you see Colin Kinzer now head into the pit road. Andrew Serwick stays out. I guess he just wants to lead a lap to get that point. I don't know if you do points in this one, but...
Yep, you do get a point if you lead a lap.
There we go then, so he's got his bonus point. How many points do you get for wrecking half the field? I wonder why he's championship leader. There's your answer. But anyway, he's leading the way.
No.
Wrecking points is like passing points in World of Outlaws, but you know, for more Andrew Serwicky style of racing. He can take it, Adam. He can take it.
He can take it. Will admit, I will tell everybody.
Don't worry.
Andrew,
it's no malice.
Andrew's that crash, very unusual to see happen. That was very unusual, especially with the way that Andrew got a start. So we never really see that. So
it was just unlucky. Yeah, he got the jump, and I guess the guy in front didn't go. So I'm just ribbing him. Bless him.
Well, a lot of these guys who were involved in that caution are actually towards these guys out here right now. Serwick, Barrett, Cody Barrett, and Eric Oliva are we're all involved in that crash. So,
and I guess they took fuel at the time, and so they've got a bit more flexibility. And when they come in, you see Andrew Serwick and Cody Barrett heading to the pits now. We'll see how much time they lost. The front drivers with regards to staying out longer, because I assume there'll be a decent undercut.
Well, here comes Cody Barrett into the pits. See what he does. I don't think he'll take tires. And Andrew Serwick overshot his pit box. So now
that's also Ray does that.
Yep. Very frustrating race so far for Andrew Serwick. Now, obviously,
Austin boy is having a fun time.
Yep, Austin Armstrong out in front. But guess who's in second place? It's going to be Colin Kinzer. After he came in with he was the lap on
Hold
lap.
Hold the phone. Jake Jackson's just flown past him.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Jake Jackson was in the first group of pit stops. Second group of pit stops was on lap 26. Kinzer pitted on lap 27. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because if you can make it 27 laps on Kinzer's tank, Kinzer will then end up on lap 54 on his next pit stop.
Yeah, I'd imagine between 50 and 54, a lot of these people will be pitting if we can stay green until then. But at the moment, it's just going to see. We'll see whoever took tyres on that stop and who didn't, because obviously we saw a few times this year where people have absolutely decimated like gaps from people in a few laps with the fresh tyres. But we'll see if any of that happens at the moment. It's kind of spread out now.
Yeah.
We've got... Sorry, I was coughing. We've got Austin Armstrong obviously leading. Jake Jackson's chasing him down, but he's a second back. And then after that, we've got almost 3 seconds to Colin Kisner, who's leading the group with Kendall Martin, Brock Whiteman, and Gary Corley chasing him down. But it feels like there's a few different tyre strategies in play here, because Colin's losing quite a lot of time in the early going, but these two are trucking.
Yep, and I will tell you who benefited from these later pit stops. Again, Cody Barrett and Andrew Serwick were the final final group to pit on lap 28. That's going to put them to lap 56 if they can make those tires last long, which to them is going to be their advantage right now. They do hold kind of that advantage sitting in 7th and 8th and being able to not pit for so long.
Oh yeah, it could play into their hands if you get a caution, but like I said, it just also gives them the flexibility, Adam. You know, if they don't want to pit at that later time, they can choose to come in earlier. They have a lot more flexibility in what they do from this point on. At the moment, they seem to be working together. They are losing time to the leader, although a lot of people are. I think that maybe Austin's taken ties and a lot of other people haven't. Only Jake Jackson seems to be able to keep up with him. Everyone else is losing massive amounts of time.
Yeah, looking here, looks like Austin and Jake Jackson did take tires because their times are still in the low 41s, as everybody else in the field is about a low to high 42. So that is indicative of potential. These guys are taking their tires longer on this first stint, so that way they have two sets of tires for the end here. Of course, the potential of a late race caution to be able to use that second set of tires, and of course the potential of a green-white checker as well in this one.
Oh yeah, Adam, that's the thing. There's so many permutations that could happen, and like I say, it's just rolling the dice early. Jake Jackson and Austin Armstrong laid their cards on the table. Everyone else is still holding on at this stage, but as always, Adam, at the end of the race, you'll be able to sit there with hindsight and say who made the right strategy calls. But at the moment, Austin Armstrong and Jake Jackson using those pressure tyres to a great advantage to pull a massive gap on the rest of the field. So they'll just be praying it stays green.
Well, Cody Barrett has gotten by Andrew Serwick. But I was those two. I would just be sticking together like glue here and just kind of just making your way forward and try at least get to Brock Whiteman. Brock Whiteman being...
Yeah, it's only 2 seconds up the road. It's definitely the target. But that's also the point, maybe targeting Colin Kisner in third. If they get into that mix, then once they get their tyres, they'll be able to join that group in probably chasing down Austin and Jake Jackson on the older tyres. So at the moment, it's just oh, Dylan pitches in the grass. I think he's just pitted as well. Yeah, so we stay green.
I'm surprised that wasn't called a caution either.
I actually think he just pitted, so I think he must have clipped the grass on the way out of the pits and never went above the line. But hey, we keep it green. That's always good. And I know Austin Armstrong and Jake Jackson who are watching now will certainly be happy we've kept it green.
He did pit on lap 33. So he wasn't coming out of the pit lane. So it's nice about having having the live timing in front of me, as I can see that information. So lap 37 of 75 here. Almost to the halfway point of this one.
Yeah, Andrew Stokes seems to be really struggling at the moment. He's dropping back. Eric Oliva's got round him now. Cody Barrett's making headway on Brock Whiteman, but Andrew seems to have stalled out and he's falling back into the clutches of Dominic Rossi at the moment. So I don't know whether he's still feeling a bit of damage from that incident earlier, or if he's clipped the wall.
He used a quick repair. I don't... Oh, yep, he did hit the
there
wall.
We go.
Yep, a little bit of damage on that on the right side of his car, and he's kind of struggling to get through the exit of corners. Let's just take a look on board here with him, with Andrew Serwick. See what's going on here with him.
On the right hand side, the lid's up a little bit, and it's one of those tracks where you really feel it. A bit of damage really hurts you here. It's not somewhere you can get away with it. You need to keep that car pristine if you want to be up there at the end. The now becomes a real management game for Andrews. He tries to not lose too many points. This is the thing. One of his main rivals, Austin Armstrong, leading the race. He's now currently back in ninth. It could be a big swing of the championship tonight, Adam.
It really could be, because looking at the top three one more time here, Andrew Serwick ahead with 249 points. Again, this is not including the drop races yet, as those will be tallied at the end of the season. Cody Barrett's in second place with 216, and he is already up the road from him in 8th place, but looks like Eric Oliva, he might have taken tires because, let's see what his times are. He is 41 sevenths. So, and looks like now Dominic Rossi approaching Andrew Serwig. Andrew Serwig having a tough time here as he's going backwards.
Unfortunately, with the damage, that's just going to be the way it's going to be, unfortunately, for Andrew. It's back in P10 now. We're watching Eric Oliva trying to work his way around Brock Whiteman, but also trying to work his way through different dimensions. He's under the inside of him right now. Can he get the move done? I think he's going to tuck it in, maybe look for the backstreet. No, he's diving on the inside. I don't think Brock Whiteman's going to fight this too hard. I don't think he has any tires to fight it too hard at this stage.
Yeah, a lot of these guys don't have the tires.
Yeah, Eric Oliva up to P6. So he's certainly using those new tires to his advantage. Brock Whiteman, P7. Next one for Eric Oliva is Gary Corley. And then he can try and get onto the back of Colin and number 26. If he ends this stint in P3, he's putting himself in a great position to get a good result today, Eric.
Cody Barrett. Right now, again, he's approaching Brock Whiteman now, and he's going to be happy about this because he sees he is looking at his relative right now and seeing Andrew Serwig going down the order. And if you're Cody Barrett right now, you are going to take this opportunity to try and gain as many positions as you can, get that separation, and pray to God there's no caution.
Yep, that is another one of these drivers who's in the situation of just saying no caution, and then you've got Andrew who's begging for one at this stage. But like I said before, Cody's a very methodical driver, and he just works his way through that field and always ends up there at the end. And he's in P8 at the moment, looking at P7. I reckon he'll be top 5, top 3 by the end of this. He just keeps his head down.
Again, this race has kind of come to a little bit of a, on these longer tracks, this is what happens in NASCAR racing, in oval racing. There'll come points in the race that are just lulls, and that's okay, because that means no one's getting into trouble. and if you're, and the field will eventually bunch up again. We'll see that kind of towards the end of the race. All right, we'll see after, especially pit cycles. New tires come into play at that point. And that's when things go hairy, is when guys get on colder tires and try and really push the issue to try and catch up, and that's when we get caution. So having these lulls in this time frame is all right, as we are about to hit lap 45, so we're past the halfway point at this time. And we're going to see pit cycles around lap 50. And that's going to be the first group. That's going to be Austin Armstrong, Jake Jackson. I can't remember who else. There was a lot of people in that first group that came down. I think Gary Colley was in that group as well. So lap 50 will be the next time those guys will pit. Lap 52 will be the second group. So that was Kendall Martin. I think Cody Barrett was in that group. No, he was in the final group.
Yeah, Cody Barrett and Andrew were the last two. I think it was...
They were the last of the pit runners. So
yeah, it was like Gary Colin, Brock Whiteman. Quite most of the second pack went in at the same time.
Yep, so lap 24, I should say, was that first group, is what the timing is saying. So that was Austin Armstrong, Jake Jackson. Who is this? Gary Colley. So, and here comes Jake Jackson now into the pit lane to get his pit in, and he's going to be on the fresh tires. Now, this is where we're going to see if there's how much the advantage is now that we're seeing guys pit. And this is lap 46. So 3 laps earlier than I was thinking, so maybe he is thinking undercut here.
I guess maybe this is the earliest they can go. He's overshot his pit slightly there, but this is probably the earliest lap. They can do it to the end if it stays green. Got quite a few takers now. Got Kendall Martin, Dominic Rossi in as well.
Well, here
Austin
comes.
Armstrong's heading in.
Yep, Austin is in now.
Oh,
Jake Jackson. It's just coming out.
Every time Austin goes in the pits, it's like a dirt track. It's sliding all over the place.
Yeah, we're going to see a little bit longer pit stops just due to the tires. So, because everybody's taking tires this time if they didn't take them last time. Dominic Rossi coming out before Austin gets around him. So let's take a look here and see what happens with Austin. We'll also keep an eye on Jackson here, as he's now coming through turns 3 and 4, and I think he's going to get the job done.
You're very close on the exit as Andrew Serwick finally pits. He'll probably take a fast repair as well, just to cover his bases. You really can't have a damaged car in this race if you want to be up at the front, and he needs to get back up the front. But Austin Armstrong, Jake Jackson's up to speed. I think Jake Jackson's going to get him here and become the de facto leader once this cycle completes.
Well, there's Austin right now, and this has gotten closer. Just a little bit. Jake Jackson he's 2 seconds behind, so it's actually gotten wider. Colin Kinser into the pits now. Andrew Serwick came out behind Dominic Rossi, and he's just now coming out of the pits now as Kinser will go. Was that Kinser that went around him?
No, Colin was in the pits. Another one who just slightly overshot.
Oh, that was Brad Collier.
Yeah. The things are a bit jumbled at the moment. Quite a few people are lapped down. Just waiting for Eric Oliva lead in. He's in the pits now. Cody Barrett is leading, I think, for the first time today now.
Yep, and he'll probably pit next lap as we are going to hit lap 50. So we'll have 25 laps to go, which is about as far as you can go on these tires.
Yeah. You'd imagine also people want to pit in a situation where if we do get a green-white checkered, they're covered for that and don't have to have a splash. So, will Cody come this time? Will he start for another lap or two? Probably can't afford to start too long because he'll lose too much time to the rest of the field.
Yep. Well, I will tell you right now, Jake Jackson has gotten past Austin Armstrong at this point in the race. Only by a couple of seconds, just under a second, over a second now. So if he can keep this up, Cody Barrett will come in this time probably.
You won't like it. This looks like he's going for another lap. No, we're on the backstretch, so that's why he wasn't pitting. Crazy that. Imagine not pitting on the backstretch.
Imagine that. Why wouldn't you do that? You got to be safe on these pit stops.
Everywhere should be Martinsville. They have pits on the back straight. Oh wait, they don't do that anymore there.
Nope, they all come.
Bristol they do. That's what I meant.
So Cody Barrett into the pit lane now to try and cover off Andrew Surowick. But maybe he's thinking if I get just a few laps out of my tires, I can make some moves late. Here we go, Jackson. Trying to get around some lap cars.
Kind of sorted itself out. It looks a bit dicey. We're going to go 3 wide for a minute, but Jake Jackson gets around the 2 lap cars. I can't remember. Didn't see who that was, fortunately.
It's Craig Bray and I think Collier. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Or Taylor.
Okay. Yep. Cody Barrett has come out in front of Andrew.
Yeah.
He's 26 seconds back now.
There's Cody Barrett now. Where's Andrew Serwick? That's not Andrew. There's Andrew. He's chasing Cody hard, though. Cody's got to get up to speed quickly here. He's got to get some heat into those tires as quickly as he can. Of course, the way that iRacing works.
He's got his Flintstones legs running. I think he's done it. So he's P9, Andrew Serwick P10. Brock Whiteman is in 7th at the moment. But Jake Jackson, our leader, 5 seconds on Austin Armstrong. 24 laps to go, Adam. We haven't seen a caution since the first lap incident, which included 7 or 8 of our field. It's been very clean since then.
Really has been. It's been calm, cool, and collected. So we have 23 laps now to go. Only caution coming out on lap number 2. Or lap 1, really. We can call that lap 1.
It was very much a final F1 restart kind of lap, where it just didn't really exist. Jake Jackson looking to get his first win of the season. Austin Armstrong P2, he needs to keep that strong position going just for his championship hopes. Especially with Andrew Serwick having a bad day today, down in P10 at the moment.
So second place gets you 36 points, and if you get 40 points for winning, 35 points for second place, and an extra point for leading a lap. And also he started on the pole, so he'll get 2 extra points out of that. So this is going to be a good points haul from him here tonight as he keeps just going along here. He just has to, so he'll pick up 35, 36, 37 points if it remains the way it does. But the return of Jake Jackson is definitely not disappointing whatsoever. As has he even ran a race here with us? Yes, he has. He ran the first couple of weeks. He finished 16th at Daytona and 12th at Auto Club. As he hits the wall a little bit.
Oh, that's not the kind of mistake you want to make. That's going to give Austin Armstrong a chance now. You can already see the times coming down. As I said to Adam, you can't afford to hit the wall here. It just affects the car so much. Creates so much drag. You lose so much speed. Then Jake Jackson just needs to try and hold on. He's certainly not helping himself. It's a very unforced error there. Not what you want if you want to stay out the win.
Well, looking at Gary Cully and Brock Whiteman here, less than a second between these two, and the gap is actually coming down towards the front of the field. But the question is there enough time to close the gap? And that is truly the question, as we now hit 20 laps to go here. And
That certainly is the question. Are they going to be able to close in on Jake Jackson? And 19 laps, it's possible.
Well, they have to gain a second per lap to get up there. And just looking here, it looks like Austin Armstrong falling back still. And on the time charts, and Kendall Martin is starting to reel in here Austin Armstrong. And I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, but I'm guessing because Austin Armstrong he's taking these tires later into the stint, because here comes Kendall Martin. And he's banking on a last lap caution, or on a late caution here in this one. So Kendall Martin will go through, because looking at the times here, Jake Jackson, Austin Armstrong are running around the mid 42s. Everybody else is running 41s.
Yeah, this is what you see though, isn't it? You choose when to take your tyres, and just hope it pays off. But it doesn't feel like it's paying off for Austin. Kendall Martin, like I say, is up into P2. He's got maybe a chance at catching up to the back of Jake Jackson towards the end of this race. So it's not over yet.
It isn't.
I know. Like I said, a caution will just change everything.
Well, just looking here, Brock Whiteman, he is gaining a lot of time now. These guys are gaining almost a second per lap onto the front, and that's exactly what you want to see here. As we continue to go, we will show you some differentials here if we can on time. It's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So you can see the 41.6 on lap 58. I wonder if I can display that even more. I probably can't.
probably need comparison to the leader, which is the main thing. Here we go. Off you
Well,
go.
that's not to the leader.
That's Colin.
Yeah.
So, but he's also making a bit of headway.
And Collins into the pits.
Oh,
Oh. Oh. Colin Kinzer
I
into
did
the
not-
pit lane here.
did not expect this. So, what's going on here?
Well, you got to wonder now, what does Jake Jackson do here? Because he's being chased down by Kendall Martin, who is 6.8 seconds behind him in the low 41s. Jake Jackson in the low 42s. So again, that's where that 1 second is coming from. Brock Whiteman is currently in the 41. He was a 41.7 as he gets closer. Dominic Rossi currently Andrew Serwick, fastest car on track of 42.04. No, I take that back. It is going to be... Can't make up my mind. I'm sorry. I apologize. But those lap times are starting to come down just a little bit as we hit 15 laps to go, as Kendall Martin still just trying to get to Jake Jackson and have a possibility of taking his first race win here in his debut season. And he's coming to the pits. He knows it's go time.
It does. I guess everyone needs a splash then.
Yep, everyone's going to need a little extra fuel, I'm thinking here. You know, that doesn't make... Well, I guess it does, because they all pitted really early, in my opinion.
I'm surprised the ones who pitted under that first caution didn't, fuel at the end and then run
Well,
it.
they could have made it, especially in the...
Yeah, I would.
The first
I would
group, maybe
imagine.
not. First group would have been 2 laps short, but the second group, who came in on lap 25... They should have been able to make it because because that was
if the fuel is that fine, I would have just if me, I would have just ran it to the end both stints just to remove this splash that people are doing. Austin Armstrong now going into the pits. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone can actually make it.
I don't think anybody can. I think Jake Jackson can't either because he pitted on lap 45. And these, as we saw, takes about 25 laps for a tank of fuel. He's going to be short by 5 laps, so he's taking advantage of this time right now. Try and go, and he's going to pit. He sees as the guy who he's been defending off all race pitting is now. Let's see, when did these guys pit? We got to take a look at those pits again.
It's sort of 47 to 50 is the sort of sweet spot.
So there's the current laps when pits happen. So we saw 24, 25, 28 was that final group with Andrew Serwick. As we're seeing some guys trying to get around some lap cars here, as Gary Colley really not having a good time with some of these lappers. Yeah, that second stint was so much shorter. It was 2 laps shorter, and Gary Colley getting
Brock Whiteman very close to getting to the side of someone there. I'm confused. That number says 25, but I don't see 25 on the. Oh, yeah, it's Gary Colley.
It's Gary Colley, yes.
I'm going mad at him. It's 3 a.m. madness in the UK.
When did Colley pit? Colley pitted on lap 46. He definitely doesn't have it. You had to get to lap 50.
And the only one who's done that is Cody Barrett.
Yeah, Serwick didn't do it, and looks like Colley's coming into the pit lane, potentially. No, he's not.
So, I mean,
yes, he is.
So now the question is Cody going to roll the dice and try and get to the end?
He's got to. At this point, you're committed to the strategy because you can't pit now. You'll throw away the win.
Well, that's it. I mean, he might as well go for the win at this stage rather than just finishing 10th, 11th, whichever they end up being. If you got to lap 50 and you need to get to lap 50, you might as well roll that dice, he'll have a decent gap on the rest of the field because they're all pitting. So the only thing that's going to scupper this plan is if we get a caution, because then if we get a green-white checker situation, he will have to pit because we won't have the fuel for that. But at the moment, Adam, I would say Cody Barrett is in a absolutely prime position to take the win here, and you wouldn't have said that a few laps ago.
Exactly. As now Andrew Serwick in the pits. He's coming out. He'll be a lap down. What is happening here? What is this race?
I'm confused by the strategy by a lot of people.
Yeah, I think people pitted too early.
I mean, you had that gift of a 7-lap caution period to start with. You might, especially if you're near the back, you might as well have fueled up, and then you probably would have had enough to not have to take that extra stop. But it looks like Cody Barrett's the only one who's been thinking that far ahead. Brock Whiteman now, he's pitted. So it only leaves Cody Barrett, I think Sam Carosella, who haven't pitted again, to take a splash. Well, Jake Jackson trying to reclaim his win. He's 19 seconds back.
He's got not a whole lot of time, but here's the thing. Cody Barrett's going to be slowing down. Look at the speed difference between the cars who just pitted and Cody Barrett. These guys are going to go right around him. Oh, Cody, got to be careful there. There's a car up there.
Eric Oliva and Cody Barrett there. Yeah, very close. Very good. I mean, Cody at this stage probably should just sit behind these lap cars and just hold off the throttle slightly and use the draft.
Yeah.
Leave a bit of fuel that way if it's marginal. Just do everything you can just to give yourself that little bit of a buffer.
Well, we got a battle here as Kinzer goes around Jake Jackson. Jake Jackson, who has led majority of tonight's race, is now out of the podium. What has happened here? This race has been absolutely flipped on its head here in the final few laps. Here we go, 7 to go. Chris Taylor into the pits as well. And right now, Cody Barrett, he just needs to not worry about getting past these cars. He just needs to take advantage of the position he is in. Because I'm guessing he did a little bit of fuel saving as well, especially when he was drafting behind. Well, no, he wasn't drafting behind. Yeah, he was. He was because he
was behind Andrew at some stage.
Yeah.
So I guess he's probably been a long term. Well, it's been, it's not something he just decided this last stint. He's probably been playing that game probably from the start of the race, trying to push it to, the lap they needed to avoid any further pit stops.
6
but
laps.
But 6 laps to go. It's a question now: has he done enough?
Well, here's the thing. Last week was his race until a caution came out with 3 to go, and he's into the pits. He can't make it.
I guess he didn't have enough. That's a shame.
And guess who is out in front?
Colin Kinzer.
Colin Kinzer, who pitted on lap 59. He's definitely going to make it to the end with 5 laps to go, but he's being hunted down by Kendall Martin. But Kendall Martin's in 11th. So
he's got a 3-second gap to Jake Jackson. So it's his to lose now.
This race has been one of those races that you just go, you know what, throw all the strategy out the window. Who knows what the strategy is anymore?
Yeah, it's turned into a bit of a fuel race. I'm surprised no one tried to stretch it to the end, but I guess it just wasn't feasible if everyone's pitted with at least 5 to go, so... It's been intriguing, Sorry, it's just so crazy how intriguing this race has been. Went from Austin Armstrong leading to Jake Jackson, now Colin Kinzer's leading in the grand finale phase. Cody Barrett stayed out in front of Andrew Serwick at least. He was in 8th at the moment. But Austin Armstrong, who was saying was one of his main rivals, is now in 9th. So Andrew Serwick's going to come out probably with his lead intact.
Yep, Serwick will still be the championship leader. Right now, he's just too far ahead. Even if Cody Barrett was to win tonight and Andrew Serwick, finishes in the position he's in P8, P8 gives you 29 points.
Yeah, I think it's more just the fact that he's minimized. Well, the damage for him has been minimized by his main rivals also struggling in the late game here.
Yep. So, but for Colin Kinzer, this is a huge, huge finish for him with 3 laps to go. Again, a caution can still come out here. We're still under that potential green-white checker threat. Colin Kinzer won the first race of the year at Daytona, finished 2nd in Vegas, and finished 8th last week at Charlotte. So he's definitely somebody who can be quick and consistent in this car.
Yeah, if he'd probably been there every round, he would have been in the championship fight. I mean, he won the opener at Daytona, so he's up for his 2nd win today.
So,
but like, just probably missed many rounds, unfortunately.
Yep, exactly. And look at him go. 2 laps to go. When they come around to take the white flag, the next flag will end the race. So we are in for it now as Colin Kinzer's going to just be waiting patiently. He's just got to keep it clean now. And looks like Gary Coley, after a really rough start to this one, he is going to potentially finish on the podium. It really depends on how Brock Whiteman comes down here, if he can even catch the time up. But now Colin Kinzer has taken the white flag, so next flag does end this race, and Colin Kinzer will be the winner at that point as he now goes down the back stretch. I'm not seeing very close battles anywhere else.
Everyone seems to have settled into their position now.
The only battle is in front of the leader
Kendall
right
Martin,
now.
Yeah, Kendall Martin and Sam Carasala. Sam Carasala seems to be taking that one. He's going to possibly finish P10, Kendall Martin P11. But Colin Kinsler coming out of turn 4, pick up the win, his 2nd win of the season.
2nd win of the season. Jake Jackson will come home to P2, and Gary Colley comes home to 3rd. Good race from him. Brock Whiteman, 4th place. A good top 5 finish from him, and same with Dominic Rossi. And Cody Barrett will finish in 6th place after potentially getting the laps there. Andrew Serwick will come home to 7th. That's where he qualified. Eric Oliva will cross the line here with in 8th. Austin Armstrong, after probably something he'll have to go back to the drawing board with, will finish in P9. Sam Carasala in P10. Kendall Martin will be 11th. Craig Bray in 12th place, and we'll get a final result here in just a moment. So we can take a look at those results now. There's the results here. So Colin Kinzer. There we go. Colin Kinzer will take the win here. Jake Jackson 2nd, Gary Colley 3rd, Brock Whiteman 4th, Dominic Rossi in 5th, Cody Barrett in 6th, Andrew Serwick 7th, Eric Oliva in 8th, Austin Armstrong 9th, Sam Carasella 10th, Kendall Martin in 11th, Craig Bray in 12th, Dylan Pitch 13th, Brad Collier in 14th, Eric Chang in 15th, and Chad and Chris Taylor in 16th. And our only DNF tonight was going to be Shady Ahmad. So that's a look at that. And I feel like we're going to get some pretty good post-race interviews here tonight, James.
I would imagine so. I can't imagine Colin being anything other than delighted with that. Played the strategy perfectly to get to the front at the right time. But Jake Jackson as well, what a finish P2. Want to move more often if that's the kind of results he's going to get on his return.
Exactly. Well, we'll take a break here. We'll get our finishers, our top 3 here into the booth. And, of course, talk with them a little bit about tonight's race. So stay tuned. Don't touch that browser. We'll be right back. And we are back here with our third place finisher of the night. It's going to be Gary Colley. And Gary, that obviously the opening lap of this race, definitely hard one to swallow, especially if you were involved in that. But you came home to P3 tonight.
Did, yeah. We got caught up in the mess on lap one, and then we got the car cleaned up and just kind of stuck to it. And I mean, good racing by everyone else through the rest of the race. Not that it wasn't much close racing, but we kept it clean and stuck to our strategy and got lucky. I think that's what it was.
Tell me about the strategy tonight, because clearly it was a strategic race. What was the fuel situation like? Because we saw a lot of guys pitting, especially with less than 10 laps to go.
Yeah, the way the pits kind of fell, I was going to be about 5 laps short. So I dove in. I knew I still had an extra set of tires, so I knew I wanted to dive in before Brock, who was right behind me, because I knew that I could probably pull away on fresher tires on that outlap. And so, yeah, I mean, it just unfortunately we didn't get that caution when we needed to, but it worked out in the end, and we're pretty happy with where we're at.
Awesome. Well, this is your second time in the third place position this season. Next week, it's a break week, and then we head to Watkins Glen. What are you expecting to get from that race?
I struggle on road with these trucks. Be a lot of practice this week, and but I do love Watkins Glen. It's a great track. I think we're definitely gonna be fighting for top 5 there.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Gary, for joining us here, and we'll see you in a couple weeks at Watkins.
Yeah. Sounds good. You guys have a good one.
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gary Cully, our third place finisher tonight. Next on the list here, we'll bring in is Jake Jackson, if he is here. I don't see him in the Discord, so he's gone. So we'll take another break and get Colin Kinzer, our race winner. Colin Kinzer, our race winner tonight. And Colin, you had the strategy and it worked out for you, and you get your second win of the season.
Yeah, the strategy was definitely a weird one, considering it was like fully green from like 10 laps in, I think, because of that whole mess at the start. But I think Jake took his 2 sets back to back. But I want to extend the other set. But I had to undercut Elliott. I tried to undercut him with like 17 to go to get some good laps on a new set of tires instead of like waiting till like 5 to go and use them. But Elliott sped into the pit lane, so that basically gave me an easy cruise to the victory.
Well, tell us about the fuel, because obviously people were struggling with the fuel. How long could you get out of a tank under green?
I think 23 laps, 22 laps, something around there.
It's definitely something to keep in mind, because we were sitting here like just, like Larry McReynolds does on the NASCAR broadcast, just, trying to figure out when everybody pitted last and everything. We couldn't figure it out because all of a sudden we're seeing guys pit with less than 10 laps to go. But you made the strategy work tonight. You get a second race win on the season. Last week wasn't your week, and coming back this week strong, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does feel good winning. Last week was definitely a rough one, but luckily we're back in the winner's circle.
So next week, or in 2 weeks, we head to Watkins Glen. What do you plan on doing there?
Winning.
Is all right? Well, we'll hopefully talk to you next week at Watkins Glen.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good one. Colin Kinzer, our winner here tonight. James, how do we sum this one up?
I mean, a lot happened there, Adam. I mean, the start alone was crazy, and then from there, like I said, it turned to a great strategic battle, and everyone was just trying to figure out when to use those tyres, how to get the most laps out of the tank. And at the end of the day, Colin Kisner is our winner. Apparently, Austin Armstrong picked up a penalty, which is why he dropped back so far. So he kind of did his own day in there, unfortunately. Got a pit exit violation towards the end of the race.
That explains that.
It certainly does, but like we didn't get to speak to Jake Jackson, but I mean, great result by him tonight. You know, there's a lot of great drives, and just see how the championship plays out. Andrew got away with one tonight, I think. You know, for how all his struggles, he was lucky that a lot of his rivals struggled as well.
Well, it's definitely a strategic race, and you had to just keep it clean and just not get into trouble.
Yep, and we certainly saw plenty of people get into trouble early.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're in on a road course in a couple of weeks. If this race was a challenging race, just wait until next week as they go around Watkins Glen. Of course, it will be a much shorter race, as that we'll be using the cup layout for that. We won't be using the boot, of course, so that will be something to keep in mind here in a couple weeks. Well, James, tomorrow night we got ACF 1 here as we head to Coda for the ACF 1 division. Join us at 9 o'clock Eastern, as always, for play-by-play action with myself and James on the call, and that should be an exciting race tomorrow night as well.
Yep, certainly should be. We can't wait for that tomorrow, and I hope you got your crazy juice ready for the field.
Yes, if you missed last week's race, it was or 2 weeks ago. It's definitely crazy juice time. So, final thoughts, James.
Well, I said, Colin played the strategy perfectly. I thought it was a fantastic race again in ARC. And I'm looking forward to Watkins Glen because it's, like I said, it's a road course, be completely different. Colin's already laid his claim for the win, and given his IndyCar performances on road courses, it's certainly not, beyond realms of possibility that he will walk away the winner in 2 weeks' time. We'll see what the rest of the field have for him that day.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching, and from everybody here at Apollo Racing Club. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for Watkins Glen. Good night.